Good evening, welcome to Primetime News, coming to live and direct from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. I'm Bernadine Chai Singha. Good evening, Shalan.
Good evening, Bernadine, and a very good evening to all our viewers out there. Let's start off first with a look at your top stories for tonight.
4,000 people displaced due to inclement weather. More than 200 millimeters of showers experienced in the north and the east. Is the Speaker delaying the announcement of the leader of the opposition as part of another conspiracy? Accountant sentenced to 367 years in prison over financial fraud. Sri Lanka clinches 7 gold medals at the South Asian Games 2019 to beat a previous record.
The prevailing rainy weather condition has severely affected the northern and eastern provinces.
With the overflow of the MIRIHANA reservoir, several lowland areas including Kilinochchi, Anandapuram and Uruttrampuram were submerged in water. Operations to evacuate locals from the affected areas commenced last evening with the support of the forces. Meanwhile, several areas in the Kilinochchi district were submerged in water. Students sitting for the GCE ordinary level examination made their way to the exam halls by boat. An alternative road to the Selvanagar area in Bulletin was completely broken due to the heavy showers in the area. A section of the road in the Selvapuram area of the Mullathil-Jaffna main road was completely destroyed owing to the incessant rains. Several low-lying areas in Jaffna were submerged in water. 116 divisional secretariats have been affected due to the incessant rains. 44,147 people from 12,932 families have been affected, while 3 deaths were also reported. 20 houses have been fully destroyed due to the floods and landslides, while 720 houses have been partially destroyed. The National Building Research Organisation said landslide warning issued to the districts of Kandy, Badulla, Nuwara, Ratnapura is still in effect. The Department of Irrigation said spill gates of 28 reservoirs out of 75 in the island have been opened. With the prevailing weather condition, spill gates of several reservoirs including Nachadua have been opened. All 6 spill gates of the Nachadua reservoir have been opened, while more than 5,000 cubic feet of water is released per second. 14 spill gates of the Rajangani reservoir were opened, however by 2:30 p.m. 4 of them were closed. The spill gates of the Rambakan Oya in Maha Oya Ampara have been opened, with it releasing 2,525 cubic feet of water per second, resulting in many low-lying areas in Maha Oya being inundated. The Ampara-Igniagala Road and low-lying areas in the Konduwatuwana areas were inundated after the spill gates of the Konduwatuwana reservoir were opened. Many low-lying areas in the Somavati sacred land were inundated due to the overflowing of the Mahabali river. Remains of an individual were discovered after he was washed away. The victim was walking along a road in Timbiriya area in Madagama, Bibila, when he faced the tragic incident. The Suryapura village in Kantale is at a risk as the water level of the Mahabali river is on the rise. Sri Lanka Army took measures to obstruct the flow of water by placing sandbags.
The highest rainfall in the island was reported from the Mullathil district during the past 24 hours that ended at 8:30 this morning. The Mullathil district received a rainfall of 238.7 millimeters.
Meanwhile, issuing a weather advisory, the Met Department notes showers between 150 and 250 millimeters are expected in the Jaffna, Kilinochchi, Mullathil, Vumana and Vaunia districts. The department added showers between 100 and 150 millimeters can be expected in the Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, Trincomalee, Batticaloa, Nuwara, Badulla and Munragala districts. Fairly heavy showers, about 75 to 100 millimeters, are likely at some places in the Gaul, Matara, Hambantota, Matale and Kandy districts. The wind speed is also expected to be at around 50 kilometers per hour. Landslide warnings have also been issued to Kandy, Nuwara, Badulla and the Ratnapura districts.
A water pipe which carries water from Labugama to Colombo has been ruptured in Kotikavat area.
The Water Supply and Drainage Board said the restoration process has already commenced. Due to the rupture in the pipeline, water supply to areas in Colombo 10 and 12 will be interrupted until around 8 am tomorrow. The Water Board added water to areas in Colombo 11 and 13 will be supplied under low pressure. Kotikavat area along the Colombo-Avisavalla road was closed because of the rupture.
On to one of your headline-making stories this evening. An accountant of a private company was sentenced to 367 years of rigorous imprisonment by the Colombo High Court today.
The accused was found guilty of 19 separate indictments, including committing financial fraud to the tune of 2.1 million rupees by producing forged documents to the company he worked for. Colombo High Court Judge Sashi Mahendran ordered for the accused to pay a fine of 1.9 million rupees and issued an open warrant to arrest him on site as he had been absconding court. The accused had committed financial fraud while serving as an accountant at a private company by producing forged documents between the 4th of January 2000 and 3rd of January 2011. The High Court judge, who determined the complaint was proven beyond reasonable doubt, delivered the sentencing order so that it would be an example to all others who commit financial fraud.
The Department of Immigration and Immigration notes 9 foreigners who were detained at the detention centre in MIRIHANA have fled the centre. The media spokesperson at the Department of Immigration and Immigration, Malinda Gayan, said a complaint in this regard has been lodged with the police.
118 foreigners were detained at the detention centre located in MIRIHANA for various wrongdoing, with many of them being Nigerians. 75 mobile phones, 5 laptops and 156,000 rupees worth cash were discovered following a raid conducted by the Department of Immigration and Immigration. An inspection of the name list of people who were detained revealed that 9 suspects are missing. All of them are Nigerian nationals. The Department of Immigration and Immigration have filed a complaint with the police. Meanwhile, the media spokesperson further noted 9 foreigners who were detained at the centre were sent to their country of origin. At present, the detention centre located in MIRIHANA houses 111 suspects.
The National Police Commission transferred 60 police officers with effect from today.
Among the officers transferred are 4 Deputy Inspector Generals, 8 Senior Superintendents of Police and 11 Superintendents of Police. In addition, 18 ASPs and 20 OICs were given transfers. The Commission said DIG Varnajaya Sundara was transferred from Badulla to Colombo North. DIG Ranmal Kodituak was transferred from the Welfare Division to Police Headquarters. Asanka Karavita was appointed as the acting DIG for Badulla in addition to Monaragala. DIG Kamal Silva, who was in charge of the Police Field Force Headquarters, was made the acting DIG of the Police Welfare Division.
Civil as well as political activists have raised concerns on the process of appointing an opposition leader, questioning if giving the post to Sajid Premadasa was to buy more time to protect the party leadership. They claim the speaker taking time until the 3rd of January to officially announce he accepts Sajid Premadasa as the opposition leader gives more reasons to raise doubts.
It was UNP leader Ranil Wickramasinghe who proposed Sajid Premadasa as the opposition leader when the UNP parliamentary group convened last afternoon. It was announced that the proposal was unanimously approved and the UNP General Secretary Akila Viraj Karyavasam informed the Speaker about it. The Speaker in a statement said he accepted Sajid Premadasa as the opposition leader as per the letter issued by the UNP General Secretary. However, the Speaker added that the official announcement will only be made when Parliament begins a new session on the 3rd of January next year, following the President's throne speech and after Parliament convenes at 1 p.m. Parliament is due to convene its new sessions at 10 a.m. on the 3rd of January next year for the President's throne speech. The statement released by the Speaker last evening added, following discussions between the Prime Minister and Dinesh Gunawardena, both parties arrived to a consensus with regard to reconvening Parliament at 1 p.m. However, civil and political activists point out, if required, the parliamentary proceedings could be postponed to another day after the president's throne speech. According to the speaker, if parliament is further postponed, the naming of the opposition leader will be further delayed. Meanwhile, the Constitutional Council is scheduled to meet on the 12th of September to consider the nomination for a vacant seat in the Court of Appeal. The opposition leader, by virtue of his office, is a member of the Constitutional Council. However, even by 12 noon today, Sajith Premadasa had not received notice to attend the meeting of the Constitutional Council.
After the decision was reached unanimously, there is no point in speaking about traditions and postponing this further. I see this as a violation of his constitutional duties. Because he has a constitutional duty, he will be a member of the Constitutional Council by virtue of his office. It will be wrong if he doesn't attend the meeting because Parliament has not announced it as yet. If that is the case, they cannot allow anyone else to attend the meeting in place of the opposition leader. Then the Constitutional Council is incomplete and the meeting must be postponed. I think it would be a violation of tradition if all the members of the Constitutional Council are not present. Therefore, if the opposition leader has been appointed, he must be invited to the meetings. The Speaker has officially announced in Parliament that he will accept Sajith Premadasa as the opposition leader. I think if anyone says that you will have to wait until Parliament convenes again or wait till Parliament does something else, that would be a mistake. I think if the parliamentary sessions are postponed on that day itself, this country will not have an opposition leader. That is what will happen if we strictly adhere to all these traditions. What if, when Parliament convenes on the 3rd and after the President makes his speech in Parliament, issues another gazette notification and prorogues Parliament? That can be done. If that happens, there will be no opposition leader in the country. That is what strict adherence to all of these traditions will lead to. I think this is a question of the opinion of the people. Everything should be based on the desires of the people. The seat of the opposition leader has not been reserved for Sajith Premadasa for when Parliament convenes on the 3rd of January and the President delivers his throne speech. The General Secretary of Parliament said that if the UNP requests the seat of the opposition leader, it can be reserved, failing which seats will be arranged according to seniority. In a tweet previously, the Speaker said that he will accept the individual nominated for the position of opposition leader after the party internal discussions have concluded and he is notified of their decision. The official decision of the United National Party, which is the main party of the United National Front, has now been communicated. However, the Speaker says that the opposition leader will be officially announced at noon on the 3rd of January. There is a question as to if the decision regarding the opposition leader was a ruse or was it done to kill time or if it is even a death trap. Because although the position is given after President's speech, if Parliament is prorogued for 2 months or even if Parliament is prorogued until the next election, what can the opposition leader do? Has he been given these powers? We wonder if the position of opposition leader will be given at the last moment, just like how Sajith Premadasa was named as the presidential candidate after delaying the decision for months. He was only named as a presidential candidate just 35 days before the election. This is another trap. This is a trap for the people. This is not an issue concerning only Sajith Premadasa. Ranil Wickremesinghe and this group, who call themselves seniors of the party, are preparing to betray the country. We can clearly see that this is another trick to hoodwink the 5.5 million people who gave Sajith Premadasa a mandate. This is an attempt to push Sajith Premadasa to a corner and a scheme to cripple the campaign for the general election.
The central bank, along with the Ministry of Finance, has taken action to draft a law for licensing, regulation and supervision of institutions that lend money to the public and for the protection of customers. Said law is currently in the drafting stage and is expected to be enacted in the near future. Issuing a statement, the central bank said complaints have been made on certain irregularities on advertisements published offering loans.
The Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardin Ranjit, testified before the Presidential Commission to look into the April 21st attacks today.
The Archbishop appeared before the Commission based on a request to provide evidence.
We told the Commission everything we knew. So the Commission will act on that and they will prepare a report. Until then, we have nothing to do. We must proceed with what we have. We cannot think of new things. Instead of going forward with what we already have, we have handed over this matter to the Commission and we expect them to take over the responsibility. We must support them. We can later see their response.
State Minister S.B. Dissanayake expressed the following views during an event held in Peradeniya today.
ස්විට්සර්ලන්ත තානාපති කාර්යාලයේ වැඩ කරපු ශ්‍රී ලාංකික කාන්තාවට කිසිම කරදරයක් සිද්ධ නොවිච්ච බවත් මේ
The Sri Lankan female official at the Swiss embassy was not harassed and no such incident or abduction had occurred at the time or place as alleged. The security authorities have gathered all information and CCTV footage capturing her whereabouts. If the alleged incident is true, the best thing is for the victim to come forward and help us with this investigation. Our government and foreign ministry have affirmed that they will provide the maximum security for the victim. From what I see, we have saved ourselves from an attempt to create a black mark on our newly appointed president.
අලුත පත්වෙච්ච ජනාධිපතිවරයාට විශාල කැලලක් අපහාසයක් කරන්න දරපු උත්සාහයක් අද වැළකීලා ගිහිල්ලා තියෙනවා කියලා වගේ පේන්නේ.
The Sinhala Rave National Organisation convened a media briefing in Colombo today.
ජාත්‍යන්තරයට නටවන්න බැරි ආණ්ඩුවක් පත් වුණාම අපි දැක්කා ජාත්‍යන්තරය හරියට අර භූමි තෙල් ගහපු ගැරන්ඩිය වගේ තමයි මේ දවස්වල හැසිරෙන්නේ.
When a government that does not dance the tune of the international community is appointed, they behave like snakes dancing on kerosene. Our president must reform the foreign ministry and appoint individuals who are much stronger. Those who love and feel our country first must be appointed to the ministry. We propose to appoint someone active like Udaya Gamanpilla to the ministry, someone who can act promptly on the international updates and the messages we receive from the international community. The foreign ministry must be strong at this point. If not, the international community can even topple our government.
මේ ජාත්‍යන්තර එකතු වෙලා කුමන්ත්‍රණය කළා මේ ආණ්ඩුව මේ මාස දෙක තුන ඇතුළත පෙරලීමට වුණත් පුළුවන් කියලා අපිට හිතෙනවා.
Minister of Public Administration, Home Affairs, Provincial Councils and Local Government Janaka Pandar Tendukon obtained blessings from the chief prelates of Malvato and Askeri chapters.
The minister first visited the Asgiri Viharaya and invoked blessings from the Mahanayaka Thero of the Askiriya chapter of the Siam sect, Most Venerable Varakagoda Sri Gnana Ratana Thero. Thereafter, the minister obtained blessings from the Mahanayaka Thero of the Malvata chapter of the Siam sect, Most Venerable Tibbatuave Sri Siddhartha Sumangala Thero. The minister also invoked blessings from the Anunayaka of the Malvata chapter, Most Venerable Vimaladharma Thero.
දැන් දුර්වල මට්ටමක තියෙන්නේ මේ පරිපාලනය. ඒකින්දා ඒ වැඩිලා පොඩ්ඩක් තල්ලට හරියට මේවා වෙනවාද කියලා බලන්න ඕන කරන්න ඕන අනකරන්න ඕන.
Thereafter, the minister expressed the following views on the elections.
We will hold it very soon. Before that, we are expecting to hold the general elections. Because the people are expecting the general elections. We are ready for any election and we will win.
The appeals filed by 7 convicts, including Mahalingam Shashikumar alias Swiss Kumar, seeking for the death sentence imposed on them by a trial at bar at the Jaffna High Court to be made void and that they be acquitted and released, will be taken up for consideration on the 19th of May by the Supreme Court. The accused were sentenced to death after they were found guilty of raping and murdering Sivaloganathan Vidya. The appeals were called up in the presence of Justices Priyantha Jayawardena, P. Padman Surasena and S. Tureraja. Trial at bar at the Jaffna High Court, led by then Vaunia High Court Judge Balendran Shashi Mahendran, sentenced the 7 accused to death on the 27th of September 2017.
The 5th International Buddhist Conference organized by the Bhikshu University of Sri Lanka was held in Anuradhapura today.
The conference was held under the theme Buddhism Beyond Religious Extremism. The event was graced by Anunayaka of the Malwatha chapter, Most Venerable Dr. Niyangoda Vijitasiry Thero.
The history revealed how the conflicts like religious discriminations turned into the dangerous wars and conflicts which caused havoc to human race. Buddhism is completely against wars. The wars and conflicts mostly arose due to the discrimination of gender, caste, religion or other conflicts between humanity.
According to a new report published by the United Nations Economic and Social Commission, for the first time the Asia-Pacific region has become the largest destination and source of foreign direct investment globally.
According to a new report launched by the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, for the first time, the Asia-Pacific region has become the largest destination and source of foreign direct investments globally. The study finds that the region is expected to maintain steady inflows and outflows of FDI in 2019 and 2020. In 2018, it attracted 45% of global FDI's inflow and was responsible for 52% of global outflows. Developing countries in the region attracted 40% of global FDI's inflows and were responsible for 37% of global FDI outflows. Despite escalating trade tensions, inflows to China increased from $134 billion in 2017 to $139 billion, making it the largest recipient of FDI inflows to the region for the 3rd consecutive year.
A southern elephant seal was observed in the sea area between Kolpitiya and Bambalapitiya today.
A large crowd gathered close to the coast between Bambalapitiya and Kolpiti. They were observing an animal swimming in the nearby sea. According to our correspondent, the animal was seen in the area for over 2 hours. This animal was clearly seen and captured on video this afternoon.
ඇවිත්ලා ඉන්නේ ලංකාවට නම් අපිට යාගෙන ආපහු ගිහින් දාන්න විදිහක් නැහැ. එමන යාට ආපහු යන්න විදිහකුත් නැහැ.
Similar animals were spotted off the southern coast extending from Galle, MIRIHANA, Ahangama and Midigama on previous occasions as well. According to the National Aquatic Resources Research and Development Agency, the animal, which was a seal, lives in extremely cold habitats. The institute added that the seal would have got caught in the currents with the onset of the northeast monsoons and swept to Sri Lankan shores. The Nara Institute convened a media briefing and clarified facts on the spotting of this animal. This animal has gone from the seas of Vallavatta to Bambalapitiya. This animal needs to rest because he is now at a phase where he is shedding his skin. We request the general public to refrain from bothering this animal and to observe him from a distance of at least 20 meters. Do not harm the animal in any way.
නමුත් මේ සතාට කිසිම ආකාරයක හානියක් කරන්න එපා.
The 5th annual sessions on optimizing the future excellence in nutrition and food science in Sri Lanka was held today.
The event was organized by the Dietitians Association of Sri Lanka. Many distinguished guests and professionals in the field attended the event.
We boast of 94% literacy rate, but 30% of our children are malnourished. And how many of the pregnant and lactating mothers lack iron? or the iron deficiency. In spite of the efforts that you all have made, in spite of the efforts the government or the private sector, whatever it is they have made, these figures keep on increasing rather than decreasing. So something is wrong somewhere terribly. Without optimizing the present, how can you optimize the future? So where's the food security that we are talking about? It's not the adequate food, but the quality of that is the biggest challenge for us. We will not be able to survive for the next generation, for the next century, unless we adopt appropriate technology. Appropriate technology.
In your sports news tonight, Sri Lanka became the fastest athletics team today after clinching gold in both the men and women's 100-meter relay at the 13th South Asian Games being held in Nepal. Sri Lanka is currently placed third in the medal standings with 23 gold, 42 silver and 69 bronze medals.
The 4x100 relay event at the 13th South Asian Games took place this at 1:08 seconds. This is also her second gold medal at this year's event.
Civil as well as political activists have raised concerns on the process of appointing an opposition leader, questioning if giving the post to Sajid Premadasa was to buy more time to protect the party leadership.
We leave you tonight with some views expressed by the convener of the Left Centre, Chamira Pereira, in this regard. Thank you very much for watching. Good night.
There is a question as to if the decision regarding the opposition leader was a ruse or was it done to kill time or if it is even a death trap. Because although the position is given after President's speech, if Parliament is prorogued for 2 months or even if Parliament is prorogued until the next election, what can the opposition leader do? Has he been given these powers? We wonder if the position of opposition leader will be given at the last moment, just like how Sajid Premadasa was named as the presidential candidate after delaying the decision for months. He was only named as a presidential candidate just 35 days before the election. This is another trap. This is a trap for the people. This is not an issue concerning only Sajid Premadasa. Ranil Wickremesinghe and this group, who call themselves seniors of the party, are preparing to betray the country. We can clearly see that this is another trick to hoodwink the 5.5 million people who gave Sajid Premadasa a mandate. This is an attempt to push Sajid Premadasa to a corner and a scheme to cripple the campaign for the general election.
මේ මහමැතිවරණ සටන දුර්වල කරන්න කරන්නා වූ උපක්‍රමයක් කියන එකයි